What's going on, team? Happy Sunday. Good afternoon, everybody. June 1st, 2025. Happy new month. My name is Carlos Garcia. I'm the founder and CEO of GAR Capital. Glad to have you for our weekly recap and preview of the upcoming week. We just had a holiday shortened week with Memorial Day on Monday. Tuesday through Friday was our trading days. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's go ahead and preview the next week as well. Glad to be with you as always. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications. We also have a banner at the bottom scrolling about our Discord server. Make sure to join that free live market blog. We have all of our articles there as well. If you are here on video looking for a recap of last week in terms of options and futures trading, it's all here on the GAR Capital Articles channel under GAR Trading Tools. That is free for all as well. Or you can go to our website, www.gar.capital/articles. And you can also see our services as well, pricing, our journal. We also have our articles. So click on articles and you'll get all the information that you are looking for if you're looking for more details on the recap of the week. All right, let's go and take a look at it here. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 first. First thing I always look at. A couple things that stand out. First thing, this is the micro MES. So again, I brought up MES for the fact that it has a lot less lines drawn on the screen. So you could see the 20-day moving average is above the 200-day, good sign. Above the 100-day, good sign. The only thing that's a concern is some gaps to fill below. 57.20 is one gap and another one at 53.48. There's more gaps to fill below on SPX, which is the S&P spot. But for now, still a green candle for the week after two red ones. We are still holding up that 20-day moving average. We're going to use that from now on as our short-term support. I also talked about on our next article, which is going to be a little more details on what do I expect in the future. I've been talking about this on Market Watch for our options and futures traders, the Signal members, that I'm expecting a July rally to possibly all-time highs in the S&P. It's not exactly a bold call, seeing where we are now, but seasonally speaking, July will be stronger than June. The first 2 weeks of June will be, seasonally speaking, choppy. So this week, the past couple weeks have been just kind of a standstill. I expect more of the same in terms of the indices, so we have to find our own opportunities. Good news is that the S&P, again, like I said, is above the 20-day, so we'll kind of use that as kind of our support, 58.37 moving forward. If we are looking to trade, for example, coming up to this week, maybe this weekend, we get a little bit of a move on Sunday, today at 6 p.m. I doubt it, just for the fact that we're kind of running out of catalysts. The only thing that we have this week upcoming is the jobs report. So let's kind of bring that up first. This will be on the earnings calendar channel. And you can see this week we have FOMC member Waller speaking. We have ISM manufacturing PMIs on Tuesday. Fed Chair Powell speaks on Monday as well at 1 p.m. So maybe some juice on Monday. We'll see if we get something. JOLTS job number on Tuesday. So again, very jobs focused this week. I talk a little bit about that on the article that's about to come out for the Sunday read. A little more of a deep dive into what I expect moving forward and a recap of the past week and what I've been seeing this past month in May. So make sure to be on the lookout for that in your inbox. You can sign up for our newsletter anytime on our website, www.gar.capital. Unemployment claims on Thursday, average hourly earnings, and non-farm payroll report is on Friday the 6th, June 6th, which is actually D-Day. D-Day from World War II. That's how I remember that date. 59.50, let's kind of put that as our initial level to look at for a possible long. We're about 40 points away from that. I don't expect to hit that at 6 p.m. at the Open of New Zealand either. 6,000 is your money target. We talked about that last week on our last week's article and video, that possibly people are looking for opportunities to short or looking for opportunities to take some profit right there at that 6,000 level. Double top now, as you can see, 1 and 2. Do we finally break above? We got higher highs and higher lows. So we'll use 58.37, the 20-day, as our support moving forward for now. Until we get some kind of clear break. Below 58.37, we can go for the gap fill, or above 59.50, we go for 6,000 and one more break, and we go for that party level of all-time highs. Again, the expectation is July, that's 61.66. Let's get above 6,000. We could talk about 6,200. Fair enough. Let's go to gold. Gold has been sideways now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sessions. Not much. Bounced off the 20. Very similar. Well, not off the 20, at least on the S&P, but off the 20 on gold. I fully expect this to break, guys. 32.93 is the level of the 20-day. Once we break that, I fully expect us to get to at least the 50-day moving average of 32.38 and then on to 31.68, which is at minimum this trend line here, which is still higher lows. But at that point, probably looking for a bounce there and looking to go long again. This is tactical trading. This is day trading future style. So again, in terms of gold stock or anything like that, again, I'm still bearish on gold, at least down to below 3,200, possibly to 3,170. And after that, we can start taking a look at a possibility of going long from there as a possible pivot point, as that we retested that kind of that 50-day moving average right on the 15th of May, mid-month. So really the question remains is, can we break that 20? Can S&P hold the 20? Can gold break the 20? Kind of an inverse correlation there if that stands. You can see a lot of lines I've drawn there. You can see how much I've traded this thing. And you can see, at least on micro gold, a little bit of a cleaner setup. This gap has been filled that we talked about, I believe, last week. And again, 32.83, that's slightly below the 20-day. Once we break their 32.50, and then that 50-day, and so on and so forth. That's what we're looking for. This past week, we talked about earnings, right? Talked about NVIDIA. NVIDIA, I had bullish to 140 to 141 was my call post earnings. It got as high as 143.70. Awesome. It wasn't just a prediction. We went ahead and actually traded it. We did NVIDIA calls with Masterclass. And again, a bit pricey, $4.05. It was for June 6th, which is next week, the 140 calls. But right when we opened, right when we got that push, the contracts weren't that much, 34%. I only had 2 contracts. So I closed it there. I was happy with it. And then we pulled back. So that just shows an example that trading earnings isn't always the easiest. We now have a possible double top. We need to break 144. If we do, I fully expect us to get us to 150. Kind of think of NVIDIA as a proxy for the S&P. NVIDIA is the second largest holding compared to Microsoft or Apple, depending on the balances now. But 144 from now on, with this double top, that's what we're looking to break. If we don't and we continue to fall, for example, we get below 130, there is a gap to fill here at 123.12 and another one at 118.46. So I would not do much in NVIDIA until we get at least above 140. That's what I would wait for, or at least 144. 140 would wake us up first, so I'll put another alert there. But 144 would clear. That's what I want. I want to clear. I want confirmation on NVIDIA. So we got that right, technically speaking. Let's take a look at CRM. They reported earnings. I had a neutral rating on them. How did they do this past week? We will take a look at the 15-minute chart last 5 days and pretty much down. So from 280 to 265, that's what CRM did. I had a neutral rating on it for the week. Thankfully, I didn't trade it. Best Buy, how did we do on this one? I said it would be above 85 on the target if it broke 76.50. Not only did it break 76.50, it did it after market hours and then pulled back. Did not trade this name, but where Carlos got it wrong, I thought Best Buy would go higher. It did not. Let's see if maybe there is a bounce opportunity there. And for now, there is not. So not looking good for Best Buy as it is below major moving averages. Kind of a level of support around 65. Let's see if that holds. CRM, if we go back to that, kind of right to that middle line here, this yellow line at 267. It's kind of hugging that. No real edge here. We broke out of this channel, hit our head on the 200-day, and then pulled back. So again, CRM, nothing for me there to do. Costco, I had a neutral rating on, and it bounced post earnings. Let's take a look at it on the 5-day. Post earnings, a little bit of a pullback, and then right in the morning, it caught the bid, hit 1050. Costco is great. I don't think you need me here on video to tell you that. Great company. Did very, very well. So kind of mixed. I mean, we caught NVIDIA, which was nice. CRM, Best Buy, and Costco, I didn't trade. Those were the earnings names that came out. For the most part, kind of wishy-washy, mixed. Not exactly easy to predict earnings catalysts or earnings reactions and so on and so forth. So with that being said, let's take a look at the earnings calendar for the week and see what we got. All right. We bring up earnings calendar here, and this is from Earnings Whispers. What do we have here? Neo, Crowdstrike. Anything here that I usually trade? Or maybe look at Broadcom and Lululemon. All right, we'll do those four. Let me get my pen and paper, and then we could set ourselves up for our calls for the week in terms of earnings. And if you have any stocks in the future that you would like me to highlight for our YouTube, make sure to type it in the comments below. I'll make sure to take a look at that as we go along doing our weekly videos. All right, let's start with Neo. Go to the daily to start. First thing I want to do is always check the daily. I want to see if we're above the 200 day. Where are we looking? And right now with Neo, it is a downward trend. Got to get above at least $6 before this even comes to fruition in terms of maybe going long. It doesn't look great. I would not touch it 100%. Yeah, it just looks like it's going to continue to go down. God knows how much it would cost in terms of put options on this. I don't know. But yeah, looks like right around a $3 stock. So I would say Neo down to $3. Neo bear to 3. But I would not trade this. But again, it's still a downward trend on Neo. Doesn't look great. Let's take a look at Crowdstrike. Now this one looks a little better. Breakout. This looks like the same setup that I was waiting on Hood, except I got chopped up this past week. Hood last week, the week before we did great. I think we traded like 3 times or 2 times with Masterclass, and we just got chopped up this week. But very similar to CrowdStrike, as you could see. See the double top breakout? Same deal. I think CrowdStrike would continue to go higher. Let's see if it's at all-time highs. I mean, you're pretty much looking at the scenario here. Are we going to retest some levels? And the level to retest is 445. So I wouldn't do any kind of call options here ahead of earnings, but 445 as support would be a place to take a look at. And if you're looking for a little bit of a deeper of a discount, maybe if it tags these levels 400, you can see that would just be a retest of that 1 second breakout. So you got a couple levels to play with. I would not trade Crowd near all-time highs. Tough to do. But looks bullish. I mean, we'll put a $500 rating on it, I guess, if it just continues. But yeah, I mean, near all-time highs, what are you going to do? Yeah, it looks bullish. All right, it's a 500 price target. I don't think I'm going to trade that in options, but again, something to look at. Maybe you have shares. It looks pretty good. Next one is Broadcom. With NVIDIA that just came out, and they beat, and they pulled back. What will Broadcom do? Broadcom looks to me that it's set up for a breakout. Break above 250, you're going to probably get to 260. So maybe the 260 calls will have the volume for this one. I don't want to trade options on Broadcom. 211 is a downside gap to fill. Remember, NVIDIA had gaps to fill as well. So I would wait for Broadcom to report, look at the reaction. It is on Thursday, so maybe take a look at a possible breakout ahead of it and then maybe some profit taking. Broadcom looks like it's ready to break out above 250. I don't know if that's all-time highs. It looks like it is. So we will see. I would say bullish on Broadcom. And I think that's my pup going crazy. So I'm going to target 250, but I'm not going to trade it. Just taking a look at it. We'll take a look at one more. Lululemon. Oh, it's right at the 200 day. Doesn't look great. Possible inverse head and shoulders. Okay, you see your left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder. 306 has to be held. Like, just absolutely has to hold. If it breaks 300, it's a short. If it's above 331, it's a long to 350. That's how I would see it. If you look at it from a broad picture, it's still a downward trend. But again, this inverse head and shoulders is something to keep an eye on. I would say neutral on Lulu. We'll see where it goes. So I'll say neutral. Below 304 is a short. And above, 331 is a long. Now that I might trade. I think Lulu will probably actually has some kind of setup there. But again, they report on Thursday, so we'd have to look at next week's earnings. Out of all of these that we just looked at, Crowd and Broadcom look the best to me. Crowd, I don't think near all-time highs is the best bet. Broadcom, you might catch it ahead of time. It's just a little bit more of a pricey company, but it looks like it's primed to break out. So it looks pretty good, at least on those two. So those are the four that report this week. Those are the ones that I'd be looking at. We also have our watch list posted for our options members. So again, for those in the service, make sure to take a look on our server for all the details there. We'll go ahead and leave it there, guys. Have a great rest of your week. In terms of the weekend expectations, we went over gold, we went over S&P, we went over some possible trades in terms of earnings. But for the most part, it's really just a wait and see. I do expect a little bit of chop out there for the next couple of weeks until we get that July rally. I'm still expecting all-time highs in July. I'm expecting a rate cut in July. Let's see if this thing comes to fruition. A lot of headlines come either way in terms of the kind of the trade war stuff happening, tariff war, if you will. There's a little more details on our article that we'll write up on GAR Capital's website. So make sure to read that and watch this as well as kind of a supplement. All right, we'll catch you for 6 p.m. Futures Open for New Zealand. Have a great rest of your day and Sunday. We'll catch you then. Let's make it a great trading week. Cheers all.